Today, we need to talk about a pretty stark new analysis of our climate reality. The consensus is in, and the message is, well, it's unavoidable. A critical line has been crossed. So, let's just dive right in.
Our starting point is a number you've probably heard a million times. For years, it's been the North Star of climate policy, that one line in the sand we were told we absolutely must not cross.
For years and years, limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius was the goal. It was supposed to be the threshold between a dangerous future and a truly catastrophic one. You can think of it as our global speed limit.
But here's the crucial point from this new analysis. As of the year 2025, we have officially surpassed that 1.5-degree target. We've blown past the speed limit. We are now living in the very world we fought so hard to avoid.
This quote just perfectly captures the sheer frustration with where things are at. The source actually labels the recent COP30 summit, the UN's huge climate conference, COPout30. And that says it all, doesn't it? It reflects this deep disappointment that all the international planning is just failing to keep up with the alarming reality of our climate.
So to make sense of this whole situation, the source gives us a really powerful and frankly, a terrifying analogy. I want you to imagine that we are all passengers in one car.
And there it is. This really gets to the heart of the problem. We've blown past that first huge warning sign, the 1.5-degree marker, but instead of slowing down, the foot is still pressed firmly on the gas. The car is actually accelerating.
So let's take a look at the road ahead. This is our journey. We're right here, having just passed that 1.5-degree marker. The next stop, the 2.0-degree marker, is coming up a whole lot faster than we thought. And beyond that lies the destination we have to avoid at all costs, the cliff, an irreversible tipping point.
But hold on. Why is the car speeding up? Why is the warming getting faster, not slower? The answer lies in the physics of our planet, and it has everything to do with our melting polar ice.
The key concept here is something called latent heat capacity. Now, that sounds technical, but think of it this way. Ice acts like a giant sponge for heat. As long as there's ice to melt, a massive amount of the sun's energy gets soaked up in the melting process itself, rather than heating up the air and our oceans.
For decades, the massive ice sheets in the Arctic and Antarctic have basically been the planet's air conditioning system. But as that ice vanishes, that AC unit is effectively broken. All that solar energy that was so busy melting ice is now free to just heat our atmosphere and oceans at a much, much faster rate. That is the acceleration.
So where does this acceleration lead us? The source is very clear about what happens if this car just keeps speeding toward the edge.
This forces us to ask a really fundamental question. We're in a speeding car, the engine is roaring, and a cliff is visible in the distance. Can we even stop this?
The source gives a really sobering warning here. If we continue on this path, we don't just face more damage. We face a tipping point, a moment where the climate systems shift so dramatically that we lose any ability to steer back. The car goes over the cliff.
But this isn't just a story of doom. The same analysis that lays out the problem also issues a mandate, a call to action. It's time to find the brakes on this car.
It turns out there is an emergency brake, and it has three main parts. First, an all-out, no-holds-barred transition to renewable energy. Second, a rapid and dramatic cutback on fossil fuels. And third, a commitment to completely end the production of CO2 greenhouse gases, period.
Look, this can't happen on the old timelines. The source argues that with the 1.5-degree marker already in our rearview mirror, every single plan has to be accelerated. The goal must be to hit net zero emissions far, far sooner than anyone at COPout30 was even planning for.
So we end where we began, inside that speeding car. We know the danger, we see the cliff ahead, and we know exactly where the emergency brake is. And this leaves us with one final powerful question. Who actually has their hands on that brake, and what will it take for them to use it?